Hey everybody, Percy here with a quick housekeeping note. We are taking the holidays off and we'll be back with another episode of our Brindlewood Bay campaign on January 4th. Be well and see you then.
Dungeons and Dromedary.
Fantastic. So we are now on the way to Etienne's Fish Tacos, which does not sell tacos. I owe you a clue. So I'm just saying that to remind myself that I owe you a clue. Etienne's Fish Tacos exist on the docks. These are kind of the nicer side of the docks of the boardwalk than other parts of Brindlewood Bay, because there's a lot of bay, there's a lot of dock, there's a lot of places in Brindlewood Bay. But Etienne's is in like the nicer part of town. And you can already see when you approach his stand that yes, it says Etienne's Fish Tacos, but because the sun is sort of setting on this day, I guess it's still the summer, so it's still up quite a bit, but it is getting into nighttime, meaning that it is going to get more dangerous for you all. With your actions. He's just sort of casually leaning outside. He's clearly like closed down his stall for the day, and he is looking good in a white fisherman sweater, smoking a pipe. He's got a nice salt and pepper hair going on, just looking quite pleased with himself and his day, with his legs kicked up when you wonderful women approach him. What do?
Etienne, good to see you.
Doris. And he gets up and he immediately puts you in a big bear hug. What brings you to the taco stand?
It's been too long, but I do have to say we're here on some unofficial business.
Really? And immediately his eyes flit over to you, Eddi-Rue, and he's just like, and what business might that be?
Well, it depends. We can mix business and pleasure, as you know, Etienne.
I count on it.
I couldn't possibly even. Oh, well, baby.
Yes, sugar.
Oh no, I was talking to baby. But I see what you did. Oh my. Oh well, it has been a minute. But baby, what could you fill Etienne in on? Well, you I'm all flustered.
Oh, fantastic. Let's just give you that condition, shall we? You now have the condition flustered.
We heard you had something brand new in the freezer.
You heard about my body?
Yes.
We have heard about your body. Oh, also.
It's more or less the talk of the town. At least our corner of the town.
Or the taco of the town currently.
Oh.
The taco of the town. It's amazing. He's just sort of smiling very big at you. He still hasn't taken his eyes off of Eddi-Rue, and he's just like, oh yeah, Homer. It's a big shame about him, He always made himself very known, always with a new wife in tow, and attitudes quite unbecoming for a man his age, if I do say so myself. I've always found it more appropriate to woo women with my wit than my wallet. Wouldn't you say so, Eddi-Rue?
Worked on me at least one time.
More than once. Anyway.
But you seem to know the man, absolutely. Would you say he was a drinking buddy, a casual acquaintance, an enemy, a guy you see around town and don't like,
a fellow taco lover?
I've got all of those.
We had a business transaction that I was hoping, he would help me with my bar, the bar. But it fell through.
Ooh, fish tacos to fish taco bar, eh?
This is your leftover clue, Eddi-Rue. It's not, it's my family bar. The bar that was, that thing that happened in the 50s, that thing. Who here's my history nerd, do you think?
Probably Doris.
Yeah. I think this makes sense for Doris to know. Doris, as soon as he says it, you remember this story about this bar and that it was in 1952, and it was specifically on election night when Dwight D. Eisenhower was elected. But the entire country had been overcome with communist like fever, right? And they were just like, oh, this communist menace. And there was Beauregard's bar, because Etienne's last name is Beauregard, Etienne Beauregard. And so this was a family bar, and that there was a mob that was led by a young Wyman Dalrymple, future sheriff of Brindlewood Bay. And they dragged patrons from the bar and beat them senseless. Rumors are that some died, but it was never proven. No one pressed charges anyway, and the Beauregard bar never reopened. So when he's talking about the bar, you know that history pretty well. And for Eddi-Rue, you know that it's a big deal for Etienne to open up that bar again because it was his family bar.
Well, do you have any other like backup backers for the Beauregard bar? I mean, I for one would love to see we need a good coastal sea, right on the sea place to have a little, let our hair down a little bit in this town.
And he gets very sort of close to you, and he touches your arm, and he's like, well, thank you so much, Doris. And really, who doesn't want the bar back? Everyone wants the bar back. So I have plenty of backers. Sure, the money would have been nice from Homer, but it's going to work out just as well. I think it's going to work out just as well.
Well, you need a bar back, but you also need bartenders.
Lane, you old so-and-so, just always there with your quips. I had forgotten about that.
That is true.
Do you want a job when I do reopen?
I will happily make Cosmos at the opening night. It would be my pleasure.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you what, Etienne, when it was Lane's turn to bring a snack to the book club, let's just say we didn't get a lot of discussion done that night. Those Cosmos were top-notch, Lane.
Yeah, they're boozy. That's the subtext.
That's the word. Yeah.
Really quickly, was he sitting on the freezer?
Oh, no, he's just sitting outside. The freezer's inside. The freezer's inside a room where all of the fish presumably would be.
Well, Etienne, I don't know if this is, too morbid, but would you be willing to, can we see the body? And I'd put my hand on his arm.
Eddi-Rue, are you trying to use your womanly wiles on me?
Is it working?
I mean, I'll let you into my freezer anytime.
Well, let's hope we don't warm it up too much.
And he just sort of lets you in.
Anyhow, fish fry is in for 2 more days. Let's get inside.
Yeah, and he's just sort of waves you all in, and he watches you all go, and he basically looks each and every one of you up and down like a good solid equal opportunity lech. Etienne loves you all very much and thinks you're all very attractive.
And I'm looking this close.
And you're also very short, so you're literally looking at his belly button.
Yeah, for reference, I'm 4'11". I shrink with age.
So Lane is very short too. So are you two on the same level?
We are 2 little peas in one tiny, tiny pod.
Yeah, Doris, are you tall?
I think tallish. I think a healthy 5'6".
So tall.
Tall in comparison.
It's above average, isn't it?
All right, yeah. Then Eddi-Rue is probably the tallest then, I suppose, which, she's...
Yeah, 6'9", former basketball player.
6'9".
Just always living in the smoke cloud.
She's just 5'8".
When you do go in, though, you do get this wonderful smell off of him. He smells just like vanilla for a fisherman. That is, he's just got a very nice vanilla sweet smell about him, even though he's a fisherman. But you get inside and you see this body out before you, Homer's body, next to some fish that didn't sell that day, and it is packed around ice and various things. What do you do?
Is it behind glass? Like, is this you would go in and look at the fish through glass and buy them, or is it like kind of just like?
Is it a walk-in freezer?
It's his walk-in
restaurant?
freezer.
His walk-in? Cool.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm gonna look at everything around the body first.
I mean,
see what
I
kind
think,
of fish
I
he
think
has.
when Lane looks at the body, there is going to be some sort of like "don't run away" roll, because I don't think Lane has ever seen a dead body that wasn't like, like that wasn't like someone dying peacefully in a hospital bed, right?
Yeah, so this is the first time that you're seeing a dead body. So how does that feel that didn't die of natural causes?
Completely uncanny and revolting.
Great. I think you have a condition of revolted.
I think I'd be fascinated because Bill used to tell me stories and write me letters of things that would happen when he was in the war.
So are there any markings on the, I mean, like, did we see, are there any sort of like, I don't know, is there evidence of how this person died?
So you can roll to meddle, and here's what I'll say about trying to figure out how someone died. It's a great thing to try to figure out, but this game mechanic doesn't really work super well for that. So whatever I give you will still be fairly open, but you can still roll to meddle around that. I'm just letting you know that because the game encourages you to figure out whatever path you need to take to get there, it doesn't really want you to ever like have a distinct like this is how they died kind of thing.
I see. Okay. Well, then I think it's the sort of thing where, yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is like I feel like this might also be like sort of a composure thing of like touching this dead body and being able to like actually see if there are like strangle marks on their neck, or like if there's, wounds, or like if they're, how long they've been they must not have been in the water very long. So it's not like they're waterlogged or anything. So that sort of thing, just like gathering any sort of information that we can from this body.
Fantastic. For sure. And do you think that you're impacted at all by your condition in this moment?
Not in this regard. No, okay. I'm not turned on. If anything, this might clear my condition.
Fair enough.
We'll just see.
We'll see. All right.
Is there a way to like help Eddi-Rue with that? Because I feel like Doris would also be like looking at the body, trying to figure stuff out.
Yeah, we can also just do 2 separate rolls, and then I'll also just say, don't forget that you have your cozy place, so you can also figure out how that can assist you. It gives you an advantage in a roll. So if there's like an item or something that you want to use to assist you with the roll, you can absolutely do that. But let's start with Eddi-Rue. Eddi-Rue, what are you going to do?
I think I want to just sort of like take off my like scarf that I definitely have, and just sort of like wrap my hand in it a little bit because I don't have any gloves. And just sort of like poke around the body and just sort of like look around the neck, look around, the head, look around, see if there's any sort of like tears in the clothes or anything like that, where like something could have happened.
While you're at it, Eddie, see if there's any money.
And I'll see if there's any money.
Fantastic. Roll to meddle. And Doris, are you going to be doing sort of the same kind of looking around the body?
Yeah, I think maybe if Eddi-Rue's looking for like signs of foul play, then maybe I want to look more for like, is he dressed out of the ordinary in any way, kind of, or, yeah, that kind of stuff.
Fantastic. Go ahead and both of you roll to meddle.
I have an 8.
Fantastic.
I have a 6 total.
Great. Eddi-Rue, as you're sort of poking around the body, in one of the pockets, you find a family photo, and it's kind of waterlogged because he was in the water for a little bit of time. And as you unfold it, it starts to sort of crumple a little bit around your fingers, but you do see that several people in this image, their eyes have been crossed out. And this was in his pocket.
Do we know who these people are? At a glance, can we see which ones are eyes crossed out?
Yeah, one of them does appear to be Kylie. So it does look like it's a family photo. And one of them appears to be the nanny. And one of them appears to be a woman that you haven't met yet, who looks to be about Homer's age. And Doris, as you're sort of looking around, you get this like distinct, it's like a very distinct noise happens behind you, as if the lock to the freezer has been clicked shut.
Here's a quick question. I was saving this. Lane was probably going to walk outside and take a drag of Etienne's cigarette to be able to come back in.
Great.
The question is the door closed in Lane's face as she's about to do that, or did she make it out?
It was closed in her face as she was about to
Cool.
do that, and that's maybe how it discovered. Doris heard it, and Lane was trying to get out, and now Lane, you're like, this is locked.
Yeah, Lane turns the handle. And she knocks on the door.
I'm just going to light a cigarette in the freezer.
Lane breathes in really hard.
It helps keep your face warm.
Wish I hadn't taken off that scarf. It's chilly in here.
Yeah, it is very cold in here. You all are starting to get the feeling that it's very, very cold.
Does anybody else want a cigarette?
You have the ability, if you so choose. I mean, you're all welcome to play this out, but Doris, you do have the ability, if you so choose, to put on a crown and change this die roll.
Oh, I forgot about the crowns. Sure. Let's put on a crown. I love that.
As we all
Thank you for the
freeze to
reminder.
death.
No problem.
Learn in the game. Okay. Do I pick which crown?
So yeah, if you are gonna pick the crowns of the queen, then you can pick any single one that you want. If you're gonna pick Crown of the Void, then you have to go in order. But you can
Okay.
pick any single one that you want.
Cool. I'm gonna pick Crown of the Queen. Fondest. I'll just do the first one. Flashback of your fondest memory of your late partner.
Fantastic. So basically, what happens is you got this image of the worst case scenario of you guys being locked in this closet. And if you think about that, what about this memory is sort of triggering for you in this moment, this different path?
Sorry. So wait. So the memory is related to my flashback memory?
It doesn't have to. It's
Okay.
just it's kind of helpful, I think, sometimes. Otherwise, it's like, I don't know, what is my fondest memory?
Gotcha. Yeah, I know. I love that. So I think, okay, so the click of the freezer, I think, makes Doris flash back to sort of like the click of the little boat shed that she shared with her husband, Dale. And he would just kind of like click the door closed as they were going out on the bay to just kind of sit in their boat and kind of just leisurely fish together. They always packed a little picnic to eat, and they sort of like shared a lot of like meaningful silence and like smiles. They didn't talk much, and they just had a nice time out on the water, and that was a fun one.
That's awesome. And you're so relieved because you see Lane immediately is able to walk out of this freezer, no problem, to go smoke her second cigarette of the day. And as you do go out there, Lane, you do see Etienne is just sort of waiting there, smoking.
Yeah, she just puts her hand up, two fingers out, to motion for a drag, please.
And Etienne very, very gingerly like hands it off to her. But before he does, he just lingers a little bit on the filter.
Yep. And she just takes a drag on it, kind of a medium length drag, keeps it in for a second, exhales very fast, says, "Thank you, sweetie," and gives it right back to him. And then about face just like bounds back in right to the body. I'm ready.
Fantastic.
Well, I don't want to play this out right away, but Eddi-Rue, having done what she needs to do, will go outside and entertain Etienne for a little bit.
Yeah. Is there anything that anybody else wants to do with the body?
I think Lane is going to see if any of, like any clothing has been like meddled with. Like if that photo we got was the only thing that seemed to have been in the pockets, or if there's like residue of something else that was perhaps pilfered. It's like, what if there was a piece of paper and you like get some like residue of that like ripped off when someone took it out of a pocket because it was wet, something like that.
Yeah, I love that. Go ahead and roll to meddle. And do you feel like you're being affected by your condition on this roll?
I would think my cozy place would cancel it out, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So what are you using from your cozy place to cancel it out?
That was the cigarette that the drag I just took of a cigarette.
Excellent.
All right. And I think I'm rolling with composure, right? Because I'm trying to not vomit.
Yep.
2 + 2 is 4 + 1 is 5.
Reminder that you can put on a crown, Lane. If you want.
Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens here.
Okay. Fantastic. So yeah, as you are exploring this body, you thought that you had everything under control, 100% under control. And you've also seemed like everybody's sort of like slowly drifted back outside. You can hear Eddi-Rue laughing with Etienne in the distance there, in a way that is perhaps a little bit unsettling as you toss your cookies all over this this freezer. And as you do, you hear this squeaky 20-something voice saying, "What do you think you're doing here?" And you turn and you see that it is Assistant Deputy Bert Halloran, who is all of 19 and very squeaky.
Yeah, so I'm going to put on a crown as like as I presume the gun is being pointed at me. And let's see. I will put on I'm checking the Crown of the Queen, a flashback showing how you were an imperfect mother. And as Lane sort of sees this potential future happening, she remembers back to her son Herschel vomiting like very, very dramatically somewhere. And she was just, you sort of see her like very like half-heartedly cleaning off vomit and like not wanting to get herself dirty as her son is like too gross. And she sort of remembers back to that with guilt and sort of holds it in like, no, I have to get gross, and like sticks her hand further into this like wet fetid pocket, like wet fetid clothing, like looking for stuff.
Fantastic. Okay, so you do not lose your cookies, as it turns out at all, but you do find that his shoe is slightly ajar. And when you sort of pull it out, and this is drier than other parts of him, because it was underneath it was inside his heel, and it's this little tiny scrap of paper. And when you unfurl it very gingerly, because it still is wet, you do see that it is a sequence of numbers. You're not really sure what these numbers mean, but it's a fairly long sequence of numbers.
This is not like a fortune cookie. This is like a sort of some sort of telegram or something.
It's clearly has some sort of specific meaning for sure. Eddi-Rue, as you're outside, before we hop immediately into your conversation, because Doris also put on a crown, and so as Doris is maybe leaving the freezer, she hears you two laughing and him saying, "Well, I mean, he fought all the time with these other people, his family, all the time, and there was some like huge argument the other day between Kylie and the sister about a loose knot or something. I don't even know what that was about, but some dumb thing. I mean, rich people. Am I right?"
Honestly, you can't stand them until you are one, I suppose. That's a clue that Doris got. That was a Doris clue. Well, Etienne, I was just wondering, if there was anything else. I'm just so curious about this business deal that he was supposed to take. How did it fall apart?
Oh,
and is there anything I can do? I don't know. I'll just put my hand sort of like low on his chest and just be like, I'm just curious what's the story there? Because I sort of like do a little one of these. Just, nothing crazy. Just a little bit of something.
For podcast listeners, that was a little bit of a squiggle upon the chest, a little lingering finger on the chest.
Like right where the chest meets the belly.
Love it. And he smiles at you and he's just like, "Oh, these things fall apart all the time, don't you know?" And then he like immediately like puts his he like takes some of your hair and puts it behind your ear, and he's just like, "I've just missed seeing you so much, Eddi-Rue, so much. But if you're trying to seduce me, you should just come out and say so."
Is everybody still in the freezer?
I think they're slowly coming out of the freezer.
I think Doris is standing right around the corner, like she was about to step on this board, and she's like, "Nope, nope, nope. Just let this play out."
I'm still in the freezer. I'm pocketing a few spices. Thank you.
Well, I guess I will say this: you always know where to find me.
I do.
Oh God, I want to get more information out of this guy, and I want to flirt. I want to do it by flirting,
Right,
and
go ahead
maybe doing something that a woman of half my age would do.
Why don't you roll to meddle, and then I think you are affected by your fluster, though, in this roll.
Absolutely, I'm working against it, for sure. But actually, do you know what? Really quickly, can I just to like throw some cozy in there? Can I just have produced one of my pressed flowers and just sort of like put it in his like I guess he's wearing a sweater, so this is even better. I'll just sort of like tuck it into one of his belt loops.
Excellent. That negates the fluster.
Great. I don't know. This is presents, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. 5.
Yeah, as you're sort of sliding this into his belt loop, he looks at you and he kind of gets a smile, and he's just like, you know, Eddi-Rue, I just don't think that we can go down this path again. I just don't think that it would be good for either one of us. And he takes your hand and he's just like, I respect you too much to do that to you. And he takes your pressed flower and he puts it back into your palm. You could instead choose to put on a crown.
Yeah. I think I want to put on the shadow in the garden. I want to put on a crown of the void.
Damn straight.
Let's do it. I think she just sort of like gets a dark look in her eyes when this all sort of happens, such that it's a thing where it's like, this man is going to tell me everything I want to know.
Yeah, you get this flash of how badly it could have gone, where you would have been rejected and pushed aside, and just like the unbelievable hurt that would have caused. And instead, you get this flash of something quite dark indeed. And it's almost as if you were looking at your reflection in his eyes, and you saw yourself like in that reflection, sort of like dripping blood in this moment. But thankfully it didn't happen. So that's just sort of stuck with you, though, this image, this unshakable image of how you could have looked to him in this moment. But instead, what he says to you in the sweetest way possible, still holding your hand and thumbing the pressed flower you put in his belt. And he's just like, I'm so happy that we've reconnected. And I'll tell you a secret that I know, which is that there's a lot of rumors that Homer isn't the father of one of those kids.
Ooh.
And for a man that wealthy, that's some stuff, Eddi-Rue. And he's just holding on to your hand on his chest, and he's just like, so can I come calling you sometime?
Rich people, right?
Rich people.
Give me a call.
Awesome. So I think you have gained as much information as you can from this dead body. It is evening. You're more than welcome to continue your explorations this evening and go to the hotel, or go visit Dr. Tara Banerjee, or we can start a new day. What would you like to do?
I'm going to vote new day because I have stuffed my bra full of food from the freezer and I would like to get it home. So I'm going to discreetly walk out with very, very large bazonkers and quickly shuffle home.
Yeah, you're welcome on the assist there.
Thank you. Thank you for your service.
A couple of things I'm just going to flag since we're going to start a new day, which is that the complexity of this mystery is 6, which means that you have to have a minimum of 6 clues to solve it, which you currently have. I would argue that you maybe aren't ready to solve it at this particular moment in time because you haven't talked to everybody. So that's totally fine, but I just wanted you to be aware of that. And then the other thing that I wanted to let you know is that you have received your first void clue, which is, so I put it in that space as well, because sometimes those are hard to distinguish from the regular clues, which is the reflection dripping blood. Fantastic. So we've started a new day. Did you all decide that you wanted to like meet up for brunch, for breakfast? What's the plan here? What are you doing?
Brunch at the hotel. I could go for some eggs Benedict.
And they do start serving alcohol at 10 a.m.
Plus, if you sit outside, they let you smoke.
I mean, I love a Bloody Mary.
I want to get whatever their most piratey themed cocktail is.
I want whatever's strongest.
So 2 Bloody Marys, a Manhattan for Lane, and a Long Island iced tea.
And it's not even 10 a.m.
Yeah.
These are my kind of ladies.
I'm sorry. It's not too Bloody. A Bloody Mary, a Mai Tai.
Yeah.
I do need this. I did see a dead body yesterday.
No, the Long Island iced tea is perfect because it's a splash of Coke. I can't have too much caffeine. It's just enough. It's my coffee.
I think that that your flustered has dissipated. I think that Lane, however, is still thinking about the dead body. Fantastic. So on the Prometheus Grand Hotel, where you've shown up to have brunch, I'm curious, just so we can get a lay of the land here. How does this expensive yacht hotel, dripping with extravagant wealth, still show the signs of pirates? Because it used to be a pirate ship, even all these years later. And this is sort of a group question, so answer at your own will to sort of paint the scene.
Is the hotel on the water?
Yeah, it's like docked. Yeah, it's docked.
So I want to think they do it kind of like how, a lot of apartments in New York have exposed brick. They'll have exposed wood, but it's obviously been lacquered a little bit, so it's not still deteriorating. I think that attributes to the ambiance.
I like the idea that like it in the restaurant, which is like in the like one of the lower decks of the thing, or at least partially carved out the thing. Like the tables are set up so that they're on top of like where the cannons would go. Or something. I don't want to say, maybe they are on the cannons. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe the cannons are the benches that you sit on.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Any other contributions to what this swanky ass hotel, how it's still kind of a pirate ship, and how those two things are sort of battling it out?
I think there's a novelty parrot, like a live pet parrot that kind of just, it doesn't swoop around in everybody's face because I don't think the rich people would put up with that, but it's just kind of like a, an older parrot who sits there, and like if kids come to the hotel, they can like get it to say a few words back to them.
I think it's to make it pretentious, because obviously this is also a fancy place. I think they have dishes named after different cities and different things. Just be like, yes, well, they conquered here at this one point, so this is a recipe they stole from the Maldives, even though no one's actually ever been there. Like, there's just accents in weird places on some of the dish names.
Yeah, it's like still the spiciest thing on the menu is clam chowder.
And there's something that looks like it's named from, like it was bought in IKEA. Like, the naming doesn't make any sense. But it's just smoked salmon on bread.
So the question that I have before we even really begin is, how many oysters are we getting? Are we also getting the shrimp cocktail?
I mean, as you sort of come into this ship, I will just say you are expecting the brunch to be open because you have heard rumors of this brunch. And as you come in, though, you realize that everything is sort of like closed down. And the only person who is there is sort of this overworked woman in her 30s. And she's dressed like a conventional maid, like in that kind of an outfit. And she's just she like immediately like stops and looks at you, and she's like, "You all aren't the pearls."
Well, I didn't wear my pearls today, but I do. I could go get them. I think I got an extra set in my car. They're fake, though.
Right. But you're not with the family. They bought this place out for the summer. They do it every year. We don't serve in the summer, just to them.
Oh, but no, but you know what though? We're friends with them, and I had thought when I had spoke to Kylie. I spoke to Kylie yesterday morning, but all the terrible things. We did have plans to come for brunch. Kylie had said we could come for brunch today, but Is that off now?
She told you could come for brunch?
Yes.
I mean, after her husband died, she invited you for brunch? Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, they technically don't know when he died, so it could be while he was dying.
That's true. We're just trying to keep our appointments. We don't want to be a bother.
Obviously, we wouldn't have picked brunch on the water given the circumstances.
Right. I'm Shannon Doherty, not like that Shannon Doherty, a different Shannon Doherty with an O. So it's a thing. Anyway, I'm the maid. They asked me to wear this. This is not how I normally dress at this job. Okay. The thing is, Athena is like, she might not have really wanted there to be a big brunch today is the thing. And, yeah, so I'm just going to go check about that. And, if you can just wait here, please, so that I don't get in trouble, that would be great.
While you're doing that, may I use the ladies' room? You see, I'm very old. My bladder's very small.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I mean, yeah, it's just down that way. Just be very quiet. Very, 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 very quiet.
Won't even know I'm here. Thank you, darling.
Yeah, and she like runs off and looks very, very scared. Very, very scared. What do you do? Let's stick with Baby. Where are you going?
Well, I do have to pee. My bladder is small. I'm just looking at everything on the walls just to see if there's any like change in decorations, if they put up any pictures or things. Because it's not a very long walk to the bathroom, but once I get there, I'm going to dig in all the drawers.
Yeah. Are you meddling in this moment?
I'll go meddle.
Yeah, you want to meddle?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Because you've been here before. Like, even if you didn't stay the night, you've been here before, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
I've been like once. I'm not a big fan. Again, like I said, why would you go to a hotel and get everything you need at home? But the cocktails, I'll follow the alcohol anywhere.
Sure. And you're just looking for something out of place. Yeah, go ahead and roll to meddle. Probably with reason would be my guess.
Come on, girlies. Oh, 9. That's 9.
That's fantastic. Yeah. So, yeah, as you're sort of walking around, you see that like there are a few things that are new, that seem to be just for the family because they rent it out for the summer. So they, put up some like weird things, but they're already in the process of changing things over. You do see that there is, an heirloom clock in a bedroom. It looks like it's the master bedroom as you're like sort of passing by. And it looks like it has been shattered. It is lying on the floor. On your way to the bathroom, you just get that sneak peek of this broken
Somebody
heirloom
had a
clock.
rough night. Interesting.
Quite possibly. For my ladies who stayed and waited for Shannon Doherty, the maid, to return with an O, what are you doing?
Is the like hotel check-in desk near where we are? Or are we in the restaurant specific portion?
Yeah, in the restaurant specific portion, but you can see that like there's like it's a ghost ship right now. Like there's literally nobody's running about. It was just Shannon. It's like they just closed this whole sucker down for the summer.
Yeah, I think if this is possible, I think Doris would like to sort of just casually mosey and see if there's just been like a list of family member names left out so we can like see who's here and who we might want to investigate next.
Fantastic. What is everybody else doing before we get you to roll?
Lane is sort of going through her bag, where she today from that big costume closet that is part of her move, Remington Steel, got a very big sort of like bug-eyed pair of shades. She basically just stuck her arm in this closet that is floor to ceiling with like things that are completely disorganized that she has stolen from the various shows and movies that she has done. And she pulled out these glasses and sort of remembered the image of the Pearl family. That was one of our clues where they had some faces crossed out and was like, oh yeah, this looks sort of like the glasses on the woman of Homer's age. So perhaps could could maybe pass off as a distant relative of some sort.
Fantastic. Doris, go ahead and roll to meddle as you're sort of looking around and poking around in this hotel.
Okay. Poking around. So that's probably composure.
I would say
option. Reason. Okay. Yes. Yeah. 7.
All right. Yeah. So you're sort of poking and prodding and trying to see if there's anything that gives you a sense of what's going on with this hotel. And you do see something interesting in the trash can. And this is a trash can that is like a little tiny one that clearly like if this was in full operation, somebody would have pulled it out forever ago. But it is a torn up invitation to a graduation. And as you're sort of poking around and Lane, you have put on your glasses, that woman in the photograph, who is about Homer's age, does come through the door, and Shannon is with her and is looking very, very cowed next to her. And this woman just sort of walks up to you, looks you dead in the face, just up and down. Who are you? What are you doing here? Who invited you?
And that's me. That's
That's
She's looking
you.
dead in the face.
Yes, you. Short one.
And this is the woman saying this to Lane.
To you, Lane.
Yes, Lane. Lane looks her up and down and says, I can't put a name to it. It's really, I feel, I'm so sorry. Well, I am Hilda Pearl.
Hilda.
Yes, Hilda.
Hilda Pearl.
And you were the cousin of the nephew of the, how are we related? I'm so sorry. I'm very forgetful in such trying times.
I want to make you roll for this, and I feel like it's a day move of some sort, but this is also tied to your Maven move, is it not?
Yes, I'm pretending I am a family member. I'm trying to pass myself off as one of them.
Yeah, let me just take a look at it, because this is a good use of it. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, okay, yeah. So So you don't have to roll for that one specifically. I was like, wait, where is this move? Okay. So yeah, she's staring at you very, very intently, and she goes, Hilda. I mean, we have so many cousins. I guess that is quite possible. And it's this woman who is like 5'9", so at least got a head on you, if not more than that, Lane. And she's got very stark white hair in 2 braids that are wrapped around her head, and she's got this black dress on, and she's walking with a cane, and she's like, "This way for brunch. Bring your friends. I guess we can all go."
Yes, thanks. It's my commune.
You're the side of the family.
Exactly.
Family.
I think you can understand why I'm forgetful if I'm from that side of the family.
That side of the family, sure. Well, it's really nice of you to come. I'm not sure how you got the word so fast that,
Oh, people
Homer.
talk. You know we pearls.
I suppose, but you didn't get the funny names. We all got the funny names, but you didn't get the funny names. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, and Lane follows and sort of turns back, takes the glasses down and winks.
I love it.
Doris can, if Lane is near her, Doris is gonna whisper, "I'm pretty sure her name's Athena."
Athena, thank you.
Fantastic.
Are they Greek? Am I Greek?
Maybe.
I don't know any Greek.
That's okay. Just do your best.
Okay. Thank you.
Fantastic. So she ends up leading you all up and down this place, and Bebe eventually also winds back and connects back up with the group as she's gone on her detour to the bathroom and the master bedroom and all these other places. and comes up behind you. And then you are in this room where you see Kylie, you see Misty, baby you recognize, the very, very hot late 20s nanny who is currently chasing after 2 children. You see a very handsome man named that you presume is Ajax. And you see a woman in her mid-40s as well. Shannon Doherty is also there tidying, trying to tidy alongside all of this. And they all just sort of slowly turn to you. And Athena says, family, I guess they're all family.
I'm Hilda. It's been a long time since I've been out here.
Yep. Go ahead.
Well, we see Kylie. I see Kylie, I imagine, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, she knows that I guess she knows that we're not, it's not just want to make sure, because like we did just see this person, like that does it extend? Are we all family now too? Like, have we all passed ourselves off to all of these people as family, or is it just?
My ability says you're very talented at passing yourself off, so I would think no. But it's maybe a question whether Kylie knows that I'm me or not.
I would say that your specific skill extends so that Kylie doesn't recognize you immediately as Lane, but she does like look questioningly, and she goes, "Oh, okay. I met these people at the bookstore yesterday. I didn't meet you. I didn't realize that you were part of the family. But I guess you knew these people. It's nice to meet you, Hilda. Hilda, that's weird. Isn't that weird?" And she turns to look at Athena and Ajax and Hestia and these other people, and they're like, "What do you?" Hestia goes, "What? Why are you saying weird? It's not weird. This was Dad's thing. It wasn't just Dad. It wasn't just your father, my brother. It was lots, and like there's already some like argument about like how these names
it's the branch
have
of the family. It's absolutely the branch of the family, and we're from the German branch of the family. I know it's controversial.
And Athena just sort of cuts in and says, "Look, there are many things that we don't discuss in this family, and it's fine. It's fine. We were just sitting here. We were about to sit down for drinks. Shannon, if you wouldn't mind bringing around cocktails for everyone, that would be fantastic. I hope that you enjoy clams. They serve a wonderful clam chowder here. It's very spicy, but it's kind of almost too much for my palate. But it is delightful. It is delightful. It's a very nice clam chowder that they do here. Are you all from around here? Or?
Oh, we're from all over, but you know, we do live here now. So technically, I suppose, we've all sort of settled here. But yes, well, it's funny. I haven't met all of you. Usually, I do tend to meet people. I would love to sort of like, as this sort of like drinks start being passed around and people start, because there's too many people. I don't necessarily want to like be, but I do feel like there's something to be said for like Eddi-Rue's ability to like hold court, right? And I would just sort of love to sort of like, I don't know, regale them with stories, and then also sort of like maybe try to, I don't want to say like mousetrap them like Hamlet. We were already talking about Hamlet, but like sort of tell some stories that like are borderline insensitive considering what we already know. You know what I mean? Maybe like as if they are about us or whatever, like I missed out on an inheritance, that sort of thing, because I found out that I was adopted and they never told me, that sort of thing. Maybe targeting towards Hestia, we haven't had very much information about yet.
Yeah.
I don't know how to navigate that within the scene, but I feel like that's definitely a thing that like as Eddi-Rue makes her rounds.
I love it. Absolutely. Because yeah, they are wandering sort of people. So yes, you corner Hestia, who has like a book out that you're noticing called the like basic human resources management. But you can see that it's got a book cover on it, and so the outer thing is about philanthropy and you, but like that's what the cover is that she has around it. But you're seeing on the title page that it's like that the words up top say it's human resources, so it's quite ridiculous.
So she's studying something, but she doesn't want people to see that she's studying something.
Yep. Yep. But yes, she will. She's absolutely happy to talk with you. What do you want to talk to her about?
Well, I guess I want to say, it's very interesting. I kind of want to like point it out and be like, oh, look at you. Well, I had, we don't talk very much, but I had a child once, and she did a little bit of a career change later on in her life. And I sort of like produced the report card, said like, straight A's. As you can see, and it was a lot of work. How are you finding it? Is this a secret? Are we not talking about this?
And yeah, she kind of looks a little bit scared, and she's just like, my dad was, and then you can see that like sort of tears start to like form at the corners of her eyes. He was supporting me going back to school, and I haven't talked with them about it. But that is 100% what's happening here.
So exciting for you.
Thank you. Everybody sort of undervalued me except for Dad. I know he wasn't the kindest to everyone, but he believed in me, and not any of my stepmothers or my mother have. So it's nice. I'm sorry. Who are you, Eddie?
Oh, Eddi-Rue. Eddi-Rue Dubois. So nice to meet you.
Yes, Kylie said you were the nice one to her yesterday.
Oh well, I mean that I'm very nice, so I suppose that tracks. That's me. Yes. I just wanted to let you know if you need anything at all, you can just like reach out. We're here. I'm sure that you're gonna have the services here.
I don't know. I mean, I think it depends on how the investigation goes along. I mean, I don't think he would have killed himself, but it is looking more and more that way. And if that's the case, then that's going to change some things. And, yeah.
Like what?
I mean, I think it would just change where we have the funeral, I'm assuming. And I assume lots of things.
Sometimes people write these sorts of things into their wills, where it's like, it's so and so gets something and so other, but under these circumstances. So, you know what I mean? So.
Oh, yeah. I guess I hadn't really thought about the will that much, but I suppose that would impact my school, wouldn't it? Are you meddling?
Oh God, yes.
Rolled a medal, and you pulled out your report card. Make sure you check that off your tiny or your cozy place if you're going to use it.
Oh yeah, well, that's definitely I will check that off. So that gives me advantage, right? On this is definitely presence, which is I'm just like mainlining presence right now.
Love it.
A 9. Or so a 9.
Excellent. Yeah. So she's really invested in talking with you. And then she takes in a deep breath, and she's just like, I just love this ocean air. This is gonna sound so weird, but my dad was recently like getting into like really intensely like this oceanography thing. Have you been studying that at all here?
Oh, sure. I've got plenty of coffee table books.
He was like becoming obsessed with like things that get pulled from the ocean, like these things that get pulled out and I know like he like made his business, in sailing and whatnot, but it's interesting because he's been devoting a lot of time and resources to that before all of this. So you were talking about wills, and it was making me think about where we spend our money. I don't know. I know he was like on the board of a lot of things, but I don't know if that's helped like how he's like been funneling his money. But yeah, that's what I know about that.
Like treasure. We're talking about like treasure, right? That's what you're saying. That's what you mean?
No, not treasure. And she gets like really close to you, and she's just like things. Like things.
Mysterious things.
Yeah, like mysterious things.
Oh, that is very interesting.
Isn't it? All right. Sorry, let's break. Great. Anybody else want to talk to somebody else in this room? Or look at something else in the room? You're also welcome to go on your own exploration. Yes, baby.
I want to see how people are dressed.
Yeah. I mean, very fancy. Everybody is doing a lot of stuff here. The nanny in particular looks like she is dressed very, very nicely. And despite the fact that she is trying to run after these kids, Ajax looks really nice in a very, very cozy looking. Again, I just go for those white fisherman sweaters like Chris Evans. I can't get it out of my head. It's just always there. It's just so good.
I almost wore mine
like
today
that.
too.
Excellent. Yeah, and Hestia too. Everybody looks very like they look like they are polished people, and sort of dripping in this wealth.
For shoes, is there anyone wearing something that doesn't make sense at a boat hotel?
That's a good question. No, everybody seems to be wearing pretty sensible shoes as you're sort of clocking them all.
No Crocs, unfortunately.
No, but what are you trying to ascertain? I'm so curious.
If somebody looks out of place, like if they're wearing something that they're like uncomfortable, or that they weren't really thinking about what they wore and they kind of just threw something together.
Got it. Yeah. No, everybody looks pretty polished, down to Shannon Doherty, who is dressed impeccably as this maid with a very clearly like specially designed outfit for extra humiliation.
Ooh, extra humiliation.
Oh, I just assume it's really humiliating to wear that kind of an outfit, like an actual like that kind of like black and white maid's uniform from Clue.
I'm not here to king shame.
No. I just meant in not in the bedroom way, in like a.
Never mind.
Yes.
Just kidding.
Anything else, baby?
I went into the bathroom and went into the drawers. All I found was a very expensive perfume, which I covered myself in. So, it's Le Labo. That's what I'm imagining they have. It's just stupid expensive. So I wanted to cover up the cigarette smoke. But now there's a half empty bottle that I forgot to put away on the sink counter. But that's as far as I know. I'm just trying to figure out with the clock. I also wanted to look and just see if because obviously with a broken clock, there's probably broken glass and things. So I was just looking to see if anybody had something going on with your clothes.
Awesome. I will say that because you're trying to clock lots of people right now, baby, that what you do notice, because you also were familiar with Misty, you see Misty and Kylie kind of staring at each other and then turning away, for what it's worth. You clock this one quick furtive glance that's happening. Doris or Lane, did you want to talk to anybody in this room?
Doris is interested. How old are the two kids that are running around?
They're youngish. They look like that they might have, maybe are about to get into the 6th grade or something.
Okay. I think Doris wants to try to get them to calm down as a way to get herself on Misty's good side so she could talk to her more.
Great. Yeah. Because they are running every which way, inside and outside and doing all of these sorts of things. So how are you going to try to calm them down?
I'm going to take out my impeccably kept book of pressed flowers and leaves that I've made notes in. I'm going to try to catch one of their ears and be like, do you know a lot about plants? And when they're like, what? I'm going to say, some of them. Did you know some of them look really pretty? Some of them can make you kind of queasy. Isn't that weird? And hope that the kid brain of poisonous plants is enough to get them to come over and sit with me and look at this book.
I'm going to call that a day move because it's risky because it involves children. And maybe you're afraid of children too. Don't know. But that can absolutely play into it. So let me pull this up.
I think Doris likes children, but she hasn't had a small one for a very long time. So it's very much will this even work? Are kids into plants these days? I don't know.
Fantastic. So when you do something risky or face something you fear, name what you're afraid will happen if you fail or lose your nerve, and then roll with the appropriate ability.
Ooh. I mean, I think I'm afraid that if these are really spoiled kids and they're not interested, they're going to kind of destroy my book or kind of tear it up somehow.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. Go ahead and roll.
And do I get advantage because I'm using the book? Is that how that works?
100%.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, but then you have to mark it off.
Mark it off. And this would be reason, probably, yeah?
I'm not sure. Because you're trying to convince them to do this. I feel like it's maybe more of a presence thing.
Great.
Or a composure, one of the two.
If you're letting me pick, I'm going to go with composure because Doris has 0 presence. Sweet. Okay. Let's see what we got. Oh, man, these dice hate me. 3, 4, 5, 6 plus 1 is 7.
Fantastic. So you are able to get the attention of young Persephone. Unfortunately, Hermes does not seem to be as interested in you, but he's hovering by. Persephone is looking very, very closely at everything and sort of touching them. And she's like, what do you mean you'll get sick? How do you get sick? Do you get sick this way or do you get sick that way? This is annoying.
Okay, well, if you're looking at this one here, this one is called Moonglow Flower. And when I say get sick, you're not going to die from this one. But some people say that if you powder it just right and you put it in tea, it'll make you see a vision in the moon. Isn't that cool?
And Hermes comes over and says, yes, that's really cool. That's really cool. I would like to see something in the moon. Me too, me too, me too. And now they really want to have this psychedelic tea.
Okay, well, for Hermes, how about you? Okay, you flipped to this page. Careful. Okay. And, you flipped to, I don't know anything about plants, so I'm making this up. You flipped to hemlock, which, I do think that is actually quite poisonous. So maybe if you see that in the woods, I would say stay away from that one. Definitely don't go picking that, putting it in anyone's mouths or your own mouth or anything like that. So that's a cautionary tale.
No. And they're immediately trying to climb and put things on. I don't know. I clearly don't know how young kids act anymore because it's been a minute. But they're like, what do you mean? And they're pulling on your face. Do you want it in your mouth? Do you want it in our mouth? And they're just it's a pre-COVID time. And they're just clawing at you. And you have I think you're going to have a condition from this experience that has to do with children.
Overwhelmed?
Overwhelmed is great. Yeah. That's a great condition for you. Overwhelmed.
Awesome.
Misty, however, does look relieved that she is no longer having to chase them in her very, very nice outfit. And so if that was your goal, she is nodding appreciatively at you. Oh, thank you. Lane, let's check in with you. Who do you want to talk to?
So Lane has sort of clocked that Athena is one of the people in that photo who had her face, her eyes crossed out. And so wants to sort of pry a little bit on that. So she sort of observes from across the room while schmoozing a little bit and really getting farther deep in this lie of who she is. She clocks what Athena is drinking and sort of when she's almost done with it, grabs it from I presume it's a Bloody Mary, grabs 2 from the bar and sort of sidles up and just sort of in a free moment says, da 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 da, and just hands her a Bloody Mary. Says, "It's the flight of the Valkyrie Hilda to refresh your Bloody Mary."
Oh, aren't you sweet? I love you so much. And you said you're from that other side of the family. They're always so weird. It's so nice to see you.
It's it's the one that does the Norse god. It's the whole. They like to be a little original. But I have to say, your side of the family has a lot more, let's say, poise and put togetherness, and I really always appreciate being at these kinds of events with you.
Well, I mean, obviously, I remember you from all of those things. It's really wonderful that you could be here, especially with my brother. I mean, just dying so unfortunately in this way it's just such a weird thing to have happened, and all of a sudden for you to be here, it's just miraculous. I mean,
and Lane gets very
knows,
serious and just puts a hand on her shoulder and says, "How you holding up, sweetie?"
It's so odd because it's not like we got along. Nobody gets along with him. He was Homer. He was awful. He was great. He was wonderful. He was terrible. He was all of these things. And, I wouldn't dream of killing my brother except when he's an ass, which is most every day. No, seriously. If I didn't kill him, the weather would have. That or his wives or his kids. And, no one really liked him. It's just it's what everybody here knows. Nobody liked him. Nobody liked him. And my dear, I must say also,
I do also believe that your brother was killed, my cousin was killed, and I have to offer as a Valkyrie, I have to offer my services of protection. So if there's anyone that you want me to protect you from, just tell me who, and I am on it.
Protect me.
And I think that's the move, right? That is what Lane is trying to get is why would her eyes be crossed out in that photo? Who wants to hurt her?
Fantastic. Go ahead and roll to meddle.
Yes. Now here's a question. I think I still have that condition, so I'm rolling with disadvantage. And I believe if I remember the rules correctly, I cannot get myself up to advantage. I can only cancel the disadvantage, right? Great. So I think while waiting for the drink, Lane just reapplied, looked in her little pocket mirror, reapplied some lipstick. So I will get the lipstick off of. I will check that off to clear my disadvantage. I'm just sort of like, looking a little more put together. And all right, let's see if I can get my first non-failing roll in this game. Here we go.
You can do it, Ben.
11.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and what was I rolling with? I was rolling probably presents, right? Because I'm lying. Yeah, that's a 12.
+1.
Yeah, it's 11 plus 1 is 12. Yeah. 5 and a 6, folks.
Nice.
Amazing. Fantastic. Yeah. And so when you offer this protection, Athena's eyes get really, really big, and she's just like, I mean, do you know that he was like on a lot of these boards, right? I should say. So I don't know which board, but there was a resignation of some sort. He wanted to leave. He wanted to leave this board so that he could pursue other interests, and those interests were weird. And honestly, part of the reason why I think that he might have killed himself is because of those weird interests. He started to get into all of this stuff that our father was into. I mean, we could talk about your side of the family all the time, but our side of the family with this Greek shit, it's all relative, I suppose. But we have questions about the board, this board of this organization, and he was very secretive about which board it was. But I think that he got in too deep, and I think that he wanted to leave, and I think that's what sort of sealed his fate, as it were.
Well, thank you for sharing that with me, because don't I know in small towns people talk, so I will clandestinely make sure that nothing like this ever happens again to any of us.
Fantastic. I'll also say I owe you a void clue. So
okay.
Know that you rolled a 12.
Oh yes.
So I owe you a void clue.
Noted.
But it's not time yet for it. All right, Eddi-Rue, let's circle back to you.
I just want to. The only other thing I really want to do, I don't know, is Misty there?
Mm-hmm.
Do we know anything about Misty? Oh, the nanny.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but we also know that Kylie's a little bit into ladies, so I think I'm gonna try and go over there. I'm still gonna make sure I have my gun, but I'm gonna like sort of like just powder my nose and maybe see if like, do you want to go to I need to go to the little girl's room. Would you like to come with me? Because that's the thing that ladies do.
Yeah, and she is appropriately, honestly, sucked up to by Doris for taking care of the kids. That you don't think you have to roll for that. But I will say that Doris, you clock this, and you're able, if you would like to leave the children and follow, if that is something you want to do.
Ooh. Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. So yeah, like girls trip to the restroom, and Misty is just like, yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry, I meant, well, yeah, I guess so. I was gonna say Kylie, but also Misty.
Oh, okay, both of them?
Because Kylie's the one who's into the ladies, and so I was trying to like seduce this person into giving me information. That's sort of like, right, that's sort of a thing that she does that Eddi-Rue clearly is into. It's sort of how I built my character.
Fantastic. My mistake. Okay, so then, sorry, I thought we were talking about Misty. Let's talk about Kylie.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Does that sort of like,
No, because you already set up a relationship with Kylie. So I think that that's also fine. 100%. Yeah. So she will follow you to the restroom. But anybody can see this then. And I will offer that anybody is allowed to follow if that is still something that other people want to do.
I think if Eddi-Rue, if you're working with Kylie, I'm going to stay and try to ask Misty some questions. Yeah.
Great. All right. So yeah, you end up going to the restroom, and what is it that you want to do? She's like looking in the mirror, and she's powdering her face, and she's like, this is what ladies do in the restroom, right?
well, it's what you're doing in the restroom, and you're a lady.
Sure. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Yeah.
And a very pretty one at that, I might add. So, Kylie, scary times going around. I just wanted to make sure that, and I sort of like open my purse just so she can speak. Like, just want to see, like, you're protecting yourself in this situation, correct? Just so that she can see the gun that I keep with me, because one can never be too sure about these sorts of things, especially, And I think I'm gonna actually show her the picture.
Okay. Go ahead and roll to meddle.
Do I get an advantage because of the gun?
Uh-huh. You just have to clock it off.
Clock it off. That's a 10.
Yeah. And so she looks at you and she just like all of a sudden breaks down into tears. And she's just like, how did you know? Oh my God, I haven't told anyone. Look, Misty and I, we didn't mean anything by it. It really wasn't like, I mean, I have feelings for her. She has feelings for me. I know this, but it's true love. You have to believe me. It's true love. It's true love.
I totally understand.
I was never unfaithful to him, and I didn't. There was no reason, and I'm the one who's saying that he's been murdered. I'm the one saying that, Eddi-Rue. You have to believe me.
I believe you. I absolutely believe you. To your question of how I know that bookstore inside and out, and I know the books you were looking at. It was clear as day. Besides, I see the way you look at each other across the room. It's amazing. True love, absolutely. And what a scary time. So, do we still think he was murdered?
I believe so. Why would he kill himself? If he kills himself, what advantage does he have for that?
Well, and that's the thing. Honestly, though, have you given any thought as to who stands to gain if he dies?
I mean, Athena gains a lot if by his death. She's the one who's in control of everything, and she didn't like what he was into, if you want my opinion. She also never really liked me very much, but then neither did Ajax. And Ajax is like a lech, and he just goes after Misty all the time, and it's just really inappropriate. I mean, it's different than what I do, obviously, because she loves me. So, it's different. And then Hestia is just like a bum. They're all bums. They would all stand to gain by his death. Except, it's not like I wouldn't gain from his death, but like I wouldn't do that. I'm the one who's saying that he was murdered.
Sure. And they're all, just to be clear, they're all his, right?
What have you heard?
Just that it was just a rumor I heard. I have no specifics.
I don't think they're both his. I only think one of them is.
I'm just sort of like mouthing like, oh my God.
I know.
Who's out on the wheel?
Nobody knows. The only person who might know would be Athena, but she's not talking. Maybe Ajax too, I suppose, and Hestia was a confidant. They're all culpable, Eddi-Rue. They're all culpable. They could all have done this.
One thing that you and I both know is that you are fully clear of this.
Thank you. Thank you for believing me. Yes.
Oh, absolutely. By the way, totally, whatever. She can totally, whatever. Just like if I have a moment for Eddi-Rue to like look directly into the camera and be like, and you're totally clear, fourth wall break, and look back, you know what I mean? But
I think we have determined that the Murder Mavens are definitely a group of people who does lie all the time.
Well, listen, hold on a second. I'm just going to give a little powder and say, clean yourself up. Okay. Good. Up. Tits up. Mm-hmm. What do ladies do in the bathroom? Whatever we do. And we walk out the door.
Is that an expression?
It is now.
Okay. And she like walks out with you, 100%. So you do have quite a few clues now. I know that there are some other people that you want to talk to, but I am curious if you feel like you're ready to proceed to endgame as yet as a group. Because you can really mold these to be whatever you want them to be. But if you haven't feel like you've talked to enough people, you can absolutely talk to more people.
I think we could do something. I don't know about you guys.
We also can't lose. We have 10 clues. So it's 2d6 minus 6 plus 10. So even if we get 2 minus 6 plus 10, oh no, that would fail. Okay, we could fail.
So we can't lose, except for like one way.
If we do fail.
You can absolutely lose. But okay, so the way that Theorize works is it's a freewheeling conversation. You have collected all of these clues in our mystery section here. And and this is just like you can all sort of propose who you think did it. And then you have these tick boxes next to it where you can like add and say like, oh, we've explained that clue and this theorize. And the more that you kind of incorporate into your theory, the better your roll will be. You have to at least incorporate 6 so that you don't have any negatives against you when you roll. But you can obviously incorporate more than that. You don't have to use all of them, but the more you use, the better your roll will be. So who wants to put a suspect on the table and how are you going to incorporate?
We just say that we're doing this at Teddy's.
Yes, you left. Yes, absolutely. You left this party, and you went over to Teddy's, and she's like on a trip, but she was really happy to have you all, and so there's just like baked goods everywhere, and she's just tripping balls in the backyard a little bit.
We're just hotboxing in her living room.
Yeah.
And she's
This
just like
is how we
vibing.
freewheel.
Yeah, and she's just vibing and just like chilling out and just like clearly on some tea. It's great.
The big thing that I'm wondering is that Athena told Lane that the little clue about like he was trying to leave a board and like no one liked that, and he was trying to leave a board to do something fucking weird, which we did learn is the like pulling shit out of the ocean. So it's like, okay, so who of these people would be related to that, like would not like that? And what financial interest do they have from what we know?
You could tie that in with the knot.
Yeah.
Like that could be some sort of discussion for like the knot could be just a board of elders in that family and just having an issue with that. It could just be code name.
Oh, I like the board of elders.
Well, yeah, because like especially if you've got a ton of money and you have a big family like this where a lot of people are hungry, like, you think you would have a few people at the top that kind of make sure to keep everybody under control. You can't just have one person keeping everyone contained because there will be mutiny, as we've seen.
And that makes sense too. Why Athena would say that Homer was killing him, and she thought he killed himself, quote unquote. But that would make sense why she's misdirecting to saying it was business related when it was in fact family related.
Yeah, because it's like anybody looking in then would see, okay, well they wouldn't think family, even though it's very parallel.
Also, I want to throw out there, Hestia's studying for HR, which is not a high-paying job, and but this family is independently wealthy, which suggests to me that maybe she thinks at least she's not actually going to get anything in this will.
Well, and presumably thought that she wasn't going to remain rich when she started school, which was long before her father died.
Which might also be part of the rumor that she's not his kids and she's not going to get any money. The fact that he favors her and was going to put her through school means he probably favors her over one of his actual kids.
Right. Like Ajax, who we haven't talked to at all, but also I'd love to pin it on a man.
It would make sense with the photo since he was the only one that wasn't crossed out, but I could also see Athena kind of setting that up.
Mm-hmm. Like planting the clue.
Yeah. To point to like make Ajax take the fall to keep her place and keep her security. That to me makes a lot of sense. Because I could imagine her and Ajax getting into a heated discussion. Maybe there was a little bit of an altercation, hence the broken clock in the hotel. Invitation to graduation. Again, angry at Hestia. Why would you favor the child? Fuck off. Okay, well, we need to do something. And like, I'm not going to do anything. Fuck. All right, we're going to kill Dad.
I do want to throw out, I love all of this. Kylie could also be the person doing this. Like, even though I had that big conversation with her, she's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like, she's the wife. She's the one who would get the money. She is telling us that she's in love with Misty. So she could be trying to make it so that, like, she could also have been the one who killed him and planted that thing on there and is trying to pin it on either Athena or Ajax, right? In order to like, but also like, she seems like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like.
But you know what this could mean also? It might mean that because of that, she's suspicious. But like Kylie, Misty, and Athena are all suspicious because their eyes were crossed out in that creepy photo that he had that presumably a murderer would have gotten rid of if they knew about it. So I wonder if Homer knew that the three of them were conspiring on something and then someone killed him before he did anything about it. Perhaps a fourth party.
So time out. Just so we're clear, the people that are the eyes are crossed out in the picture are
Kylie, Misty, and Athena.
Misty and Athena. The sister. So the only one. So which means the only one he trusts is Ajax and Hestia, his two kids.
I wonder if whatever Kylie, Misty, and Athena are conspiring on together is something that would benefit them. And Ajax, in order to erase that thing that would benefit the three of them and get it all for himself, decided to kill Homer so that the three of them wouldn't be able to finish their master plan. So it's a sort of two factions against each other. And, Ajax did the murder because he feared that Homer was going to side with the other three.
Sure. And that paper with the thing is like a bank account.
Yeah.
Or a safety deposit box.
Yeah, like the code to a safe. Yeah.
Just something that is sort of like, this is the account number.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's what he was trying to get, maybe, but didn't know.
Sort of back channeling money to perhaps Kylie and Misty through Athena and the board of elders and the family.
Listen, money laundering works externally as well as it does internally. I think that makes sense. This is hard. This game is hard. I'm not good at this. I'm stressed.
You all are doing fantastically.
This is very stressful.
You've incorporated several clues in here, and also I think that like you can still like cross off the illicit love affair between Kylie and Misty in this explanation.
That's 9 that we've crossed off so far.
Well, I will also say that maybe that's also part of it too. That failed business deal. Maybe this is what it is. Okay, Homer's trying to cash out of his money making, but he's trying to give it all of his money to this other entity so that nobody gets the money, right? Which is why he's not doing the thing with the bar, right? He's no longer doing that.
Mm-hmm.
That's that feel, right? And like Ajax gets wind of this, right? Or this might be a totally separate theory.
No, I think you're onto something with that. That's really interesting because then what you're getting at is like, is it the whole family that's conspiring?
And they already said that. They all said that.
Yeah, Ben already said it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good. I think except for Hestia. I think Hestia's the only. I want to save this girl. That she's the only.
I think she's
the
innocent.
only one.
Yeah.
That also like that torn up invitation to a graduation. Like she's gonna graduate from this thing and nobody's gonna come, right? But she's like trying to get but like they're all like, screw that girl. And it's everybody but Hestia was trying to make it happen. They punched out that clock in the hotel. Homer punched out that clock in the hotel, said, time's up.
Well, he punched out the clock in the hotel when perhaps Ajax confronted him over where he was funneling money. And he said, like, time's up because, like, this is the part of the family that's going to retain the power. And then Ajax throws the man off, perhaps with a missing piece of glass from the face of the clock.
Ooh. Yeah.
I like it
too. I could also see Hestia really tragically, like, bringing her graduation invitation and then tearing it up herself because she's like, my family does it. They're not going to come, you know?
Oh, our sweet cinnamon roll. That poor girl.
Do y'all feel ready to roll?
Yeah.
Who wants to roll this? You get to roll it with, it looks like +5. Wait, did you get them all? Did you get them all?
We left 2 open. We didn't talk about another younger woman, and we didn't talk about the failed business deal, unless.
Yeah, we worked in Homer Pearl. Yeah.
Oh, great.
With what's his name? With the guy with
Etienne.
Etienne.
Do we want to leave the younger woman on the table?
No, we didn't resolve that.
It's Kylie had missed you really.
I don't know. I was sort of thinking about that as like there's like swirling vague rumors of a younger woman, and we thought it was with Homer, but it was actually with Kylie. If it's tied to the love affair.
The question is, do we get double points for that?
They're 2 different clues, so yeah.
Nice.
So we literally got all. We found a way to put all of them. This
Nick
is what
gave a thumbs up.
The lucky number of clues is 13. That's
so
2d6
you get
plus
to
7.
roll this with a +7. That's the only modifier that you get. So who wants to roll this theorize? And just to be clear, this is to theorize. I want somebody to say it. This is who did it. This is why. Let's try to make it as simple as possible. Who can say it?
Ben has not had many good rolls.
Yeah, I can say I can try to summarize what we just said, but I don't want to roll.
Well, I've had the hot dice tonight.
Yeah, you should have. My dice have been crap also. Yeah.
But now that's all the pressure.
But yeah, Lane, tell us who did it and why.
Ajax is the murderer. There is a lot of scheming in the Pearl family, and Ajax clearly wanted some money. There were a lot of, let's say, untoward things that the high society folks would not like. There was a love affair between an employee and a scion. The board of elders on this family approved of it all and decided, well, yes, this is our future, is these 2 people, this young scion in Kylie, this young member of the family who's going to become one of our new leaders, the mother of many wonderful children, and Missy, who we all like. Ajax was not having that. After shady business deals, after rumors of illegitimate children, after the shunning of Hestia, his own sister, the shunning of Hestia, he had had enough. It was him who deserved all of the family power. And so he confronted Homer, who punched a clock and said, no, I want to retire to pull shit out of the ocean. And Ajax said, well, you're going to retire to the ocean. Killed him and threw him off.
Oh, that's completely out of the dice.
Come on, Chris, come on.
It's a 14.
Wow.
So on a 12 plus, sorry, you have obviously come to the correct solution in this way. How do you want to take down your bad guys? Do you just want to say all of that? Does the camera pan as you are monologuing on the ship with the police there to hear it all?
Yeah, I think that what that monologue just happened. It's like it starts at a really tight shot of Lane who takes off her glasses. And then it just pulls out slowly on all of us standing behind her. And then the big burly police officer, Esther's son, who's
Standing
super
right
handsome. Yeah, standing right. And then, yes, exactly. And then standing right behind Ajax. And then we see like them all sitting there, like holding their drinks, like in a tableau, just sort of like in shock that they've been caught. And poor Hestia is sitting there sobbing, but she's going to get all the money.
Fantastic. You have solved this case, and after you solve this case, and everybody is happy and celebrating, Hestia is like looking so grateful and tearful about how all of this has transpired. Something happens off screen, away from you all, something that you are not necessarily privy to in this episode, but is definitely present. And that is, there's a group of hooded figures standing before a large, ornate mirror. All of the figures are wearing these smooth white masks of Greek theater with large openings for ghoulish smiles and frowns. And in the center of this circle is a figure wearing purple robes. And they show off this like incredibly large knife, like a Faith Lahane knife, for those of you who watch Buffy, to a group of to the group, just sort of spinning it around and showing them this knife that have assembled there. And then the figure takes the knife and stabs it into their face, popping one eye free and then another. They then take the eyes and display them to the group, blood dripping down their face and hands, again sort of spinning. And they place the eyes in front of the mirror and they start chanting, everyone in this circle. We linger on the reflection in this mirror and the carved eyes that are first staring lifeless. They then start to move, and the nerve stems start to flick back and forth like an animal's tail. The group masks of smiles and frowns cheer in deep billows as we smash cuts into the credits of this episode.
Dungeons and Drama Nerds is produced by Todd Bryan Backus, Percival Hornak, and Nicholas Orvis, and is mixed and edited by Anthony Sertel Dean. Our Brindlewood Bay campaign features Christopher Diercksen as Eddi-Rue Dubois, Ben Ferber as Lane Walther, Kory Flores as Bebe Garcia, Shannon Wade as Doris Mackowiak, and our keeper C. Meaker. If you'd like to help us continue exploring the intersection of theater and tabletop role-playing games, consider leaving us a review on your podcast app of choice or supporting us and getting access to our patron-only bonus content at patreon.com/dungeonsanddramanerds. You can find our social media and website links, including our cast bios, at the link tree in our show notes. And we'll be back with another episode of our Brindlewood Bay campaign on January 4th. Be well and see you then.